she said, "Y'all ready?" And I said, "Hello, hello, hello. How are you? It's your girl, Joy. Callie and Montanique will be dialing in a second. Everybody, how's everybody doing this evening? In e second.
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
What you think about this episode? Marriage in Love and Marriage Huntsville. It says it depends on which DVR you got, but on Hulu's TV services, it's season 6, episode 28. I know on others, if you use and just own to watch it, it says season 7, like episode number like 12 or 13 or something like that. It's something of that nature. I know it's the 7th season. It's a little confusing to some people because Carlos gets ordered like a huge number of episodes a season. They're like 28, 30 episodes, like literally. What he does is split it up in part A and part B. That's why it's season 6, episode 28. No reality show on has 28 episodes, but Huntsville, because of how they split up their season. But anyway, to say all of that, this particular episode is Houston. Here comes the problem. All right, y'all, let's get it going. Y'all know how this episode began?
How would you rate it, Joy?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're correct. I would give it, anytime I have content afterward, I have a conversation, I tend to think it was a pretty decent episode. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5, 8.
Wow, that's high. I would give it a 5.
Oh wow.
It was
I
just
know
I
why you're
couldn't.
saying that because it is getting boring.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, it was boring. I
Yeah.
mean, for me, Stormi was the best part, and that shouldn't always be the case.
Well, it wasn't that she was the most talked about part. I wouldn't say she was the best part, but I get what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get why you say that. What you think about it, Montanique?
It was boring to me. I'll give it a 6.
Yeah.
I didn't really have many notes or anything. It was just I think it was a fluff episode.
Well, it wasn't, but I know why you said that because it was kind of it was dead scenes. But I don't think it's fluff because I do think it moved the story on to explain a lot that's probably gonna happen in the next episode. But I get why you say that. The reason I keep it so high is because it's just another example of why mixing Gen X and millennials together on a reality show is going to be a disaster because they have values that don't make sense to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody. Because you actually got two adults that found each other that believe it's okay to call another grown man a female dog and claim it's a part of her culture.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
but
insane.
I feel like Tisha should be the one to say stop.
She did.
When they had that sit down.
It's not okay to call anybody a B. Like,
was it in a confessional or was that to her?
No, she said that to her. Sitting there.
Oh, okay, I don't remember that. All right.
We just get rid of the B word? It ain't okay to call nobody a B, especially in that manner. If you decide amongst your girlfriends that that's a girl thing, and you call it, and that's something that you feel comfortable in your girl group, I get that. It ain't never okay to call one of your coworkers because at the very least, that's what he is. If y'all ain't friends, ain't never been friends, that's cool. But at this point, y'all got the same employer. So at the very least, nobody should have to give you a lesson. I felt more so. Nobody should have to learn your new culture that, like, for some reason, we ain't all black people living in America. You either learn that as a child or an adult. But the mere fact that this girl is in her 30s probably, and she think this is okay, it's insane to me. It's literally like you are a kid. You are emotionally like a teenager.
I think she knows it's an issue. I think she's doing it to get a rise out of him.
Well, it ain't happening. That's why she packed up her stuff and left, because it's not happening. Like, he actually used her words against her. That's why she's mad.
True.
Because it's not like she's presenting, when she was telling Kimmy about, he was talking about my culture. He used the words you used. That's how
she said it.
So he's throwing it back at you. I ain't got time to learn your culture. I'm with him. You're a man of a certain years. That's utterly ridiculous. Know that somebody else need to raise you. That somebody got to see you don't call no grown man, no female dog. There are people who don't even like Tisha that don't even understand this Stormi mess. Like, she has really good business acumen. I can respect that. She has really good, she shares. Like, she's not a person that gain knowledge and hoard it and let everybody else fail behind her. I can respect that. As a person, that's a good deed. But girl, you don't know nothing about life if you think that's appropriate behavior.
But I mean, I feel the same way about them being late though. Like, do you think that made an issue?
I'm sure they could have added to her frustration. Yeah, because that's disrespectful in itself as well. That's very disrespectful. To have somebody waiting for an hour and a half, and it's a situation where you got to be there because you got to film something.
Yeah,
that's not cool. That and I don't know, unless it's a situation where our babysitter fell through, we waiting on so and so to come. Unless it's like something legitimate, which they didn't offer or it wasn't aired, because to me that should have been talked about. Like, why were y'all an hour and a half? Like, we've been waiting here. Now I'm already on 10 because I've been sitting here waiting.
All right, so that was the first thing. Like, they was at the pool hall.
What'd you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Say it again.
Monty.
I was just saying that was the first scene of them at the pool hall, right?
Correct.
Is that how it started off? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's how it started off. They finished it, and Stormi got mad, and she walked out. I will say is that this is her game because she had her own pool.
They like pool.
Yeah.
So
I was glad to hear Tisha attempting to take up for herself again. So especially with Stormi, because Stormi can be intimidating for some people. I just wish she would have addressed that bitch word at the baby shower. At the Tiffany shower.
She didn't call him a B. She called him a girl.
Same difference.
I agree. But yeah, I agree.
Well, at the town hall, the first time she heard it, she should have addressed it. Was it at the town hall then?
Yeah.
It was something. And she should have stopped it right then and there.
Yeah, like, let's chill.
But like you said, you think that she's getting something from Stormi because she's too passive with Stormi.
Yeah.
Now she seems to be getting past that, and probably because of Marsau. But Marsau, he knows he's irritating. He can be very irritating. I think that's a little bit strangely. That's a little bit reason why we like him. But I think he just can't handle Stormi's energy back at him. He wants to keep everything laughing, and she at some point is like, get out of my way.
I think it's both ends though. I think it could be said about both of them. She is irritated that she can't get under his skin. Because even though the B thing definitely bothers him, the way he's holding together and playing with it and throwing stuff back in her face, he's still getting the best of her. He's still, because she's not successful. Being successful would have been, because I ain't gonna say what I thought was successful, but she's not winning. She's just not winning this war. not with Marceau. He's too much. They match energies. That's
Yeah,
how
they the same person.
they the same person.
They same person.
And she's used to getting over on people. And what's crazy is her husband, this big old grown man sitting next to her, don't see nothing wrong with it. Like, even my husband would be like, I would be mortified if you called an associate, a friend, loose, whatever, a B. And I just sat there and I would be mortified.
Oh, well. So what was next? Was it the restaurant scene? Was that next or the sex therapist? Because, honey.
Oh, the sex therapist. I thought that was cute. First of all, I said when I saw her was, ain't no way she could be my sex therapist. That's one.
And that's all true too. I mean, look, but if she came to the door and Mrs. Roper came to the door, I'm definitely picking Miss Roper instead of that. She was too young, too cute. She didn't have on a wedding ring. And we up here talking about the lack of sex in this marriage. And then you're going to send me this bombshell? No. You know,
I did not feel that way till y'all said it. I was like, I mean, if Maurice was my husband, maybe. But if you trust your husband gonna run into baddies all day, every day. And he gotta have the sense to not act on it. So that didn't bother me. But with Maurice being my husband, maybe so.
Did y'all see Kimmy got a tramp stamp?
I got a tramp stamp, so I can't talk about her.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's a big too.
Yeah, I got
in
one.
the back.
So,
oh no, where'd you see that at?
It was when she hopped on Maurice's lap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with it. What's wrong with the tramp stamp, Joe? I got one. What's wrong?
There ain't nothing wrong. It's just
okay, making sure.
It's a tramp stamp.
I got one. I got a queen bee.
Never been a tramp.
Look, I got a queen bee tramp stamp because I'm the queen bee. Yes, ma'am. So, but yeah, I know people were shocked she had that.
Yeah.
So, are we going to talk about her coochie or not? Are we going to talk about it?
Oh, did any of y'all see the interview with Carlos King before we talk about? Because I didn't know. I didn't watch that.
Watch what?
I didn't watch the interview with Carlos King and Maurice. Where?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I saw most of it honestly on Fox Soul though, because they played that part and they had an interview with Maurice as well.
Okay.
Right.
Well, now I understand why this was made her storyline. Because
I still don't understand, Joy. I still don't.
It seems like with what he said on Carlos King got some backlash from her family. He went on. That whole comment about she just rolls over and endures it. All that kind of stuff was embarrassing for her. I'm glad that she said what she said. That's not protecting. That's not being protecting to her.
But why would he even think it's okay to say something like that?
I have no idea. I think he was trying, believe it or not, he's just tone deaf. A lot of men are. In his mind, he was protecting her. Like she's still doing what she needs to do, even though she don't want to. You know what I mean? And most women do generally, but the mere fact that the way that he said it, it almost, you know what it kind of reminded me of? I'm just going to tell you. Y'all remember in The Color Purple when Celie was talking to Suge about Mr. and she said he just roll over and do his business. She said, and you act like he peeing on you. She said it feel like it. That's what it when I listen to stuff like that, that's what it reminded me of. Like
I think he thinks he's being funny, but he's just not, because Marceau would have said it in a way that would have been like, oh my God, and maybe laugh. But Maurice ain't that way. And I think he thinks he is. Because he thinks he's saying stuff in a slick, funny way, but it just comes across as condescending and disrespectful towards his wife. Also, when he said, it's not that I want sex, I need sex. Well, needs and wants are totally two different things. You know what I mean? Right. I think he wants it. Right. He don't need it 2-3 times a day. I'm sorry.
He wouldn't be able to do it 2-3 times a day if she did let him. don't think they make that much Viagra.
But yeah, but I'm tired of talking about it. I wish they stopped. I do like the exercises where you sit and you talk. I think that's neat, but I think they could have Googled that and found that out.
Coddling. I mean that is sweet. Coddling is fun.
I think that's a normal exercise too that they give you. That's
Mm-hmm.
it's a forcing way to have a forcing intimacy, so to speak.
So yeah, they didn't need that lady. They could have Googled that, said, how can we increase our intimacy, and found that, and then we could have not had that scene because I'm over them.
Yeah.
Oh, you think they're terrible? Oh. What's next, Joy? What's next? Was they at the restaurant?
The next scene is all of them at the restaurant. That pretty much takes up the rest of the.
What do y'all think about the Fletchers? I mean, they're not even a main cast.
They are
people.
now.
Well, yeah. But they're not. But about them doing hosting a trip, like I think that's major.
Is this the first trip?
Oh, yeah.
On any season?
I think so.
Well, they went to Vegas. I remember. Are you talking about just this season or ever?
No, in general. In general,
they went to Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
So their budgets are starting to get increased. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
They do need to go on more trips. Like, why everybody indoors? Like, even in country.
I think Carlos, he has strategic reasons for letting them do the trip. He's definitely trying to get them. They went to Miami too. Okay, he's trying to get them comfortable. They are coming on the show and being a positive couple that a lot of people seem to like. He's probably going to start giving them a whole lot of stuff.
Well, they did go to Miami the first season. You're right, because that's where Maurice and them got married. You're right.
Okay, that was a wedding.
Yeah. Oh, I do remember that. Okay.
And why'd they go to Miami?
They got married. No, they got married.
I know that.
Maurice used to live there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was known as Miami Maurice.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, that's his Instagram is Miami Reese, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what his Instagram is.
Yeah, so I don't know. I assumed he lived there at some point.
But I thought it was major that them hosting the trip. That I felt like it was weird that Carlos, or they were acting like no one had told them that Tiffany and Lou had quit. Because they were like, are they coming? And she was like, yeah. So I'm thinking maybe they didn't know at this point, or they just didn't tell them at this point. But is communication not happening? Like, I didn't understand that.
It could be a situation that Carlos. I mean, I don't know.
There's a whole lot of communication going on with the wrong people. So
that would have had to come from production, because only Tiffany and Lou were in that scene. It ain't like they were talking to somebody. So if somebody was to tell them or not, it would have had to come from production.
And I wonder why they didn't tell them. Maybe they wasn't sure yet.
Authentically find out on camera.
Maybe if they wasn't sure yet. So I don't know. But I feel like Nell, what y'all think about her jumping on that dang on bull? Because she's short. And she didn't need no lift. Like, I need a lift to get in my car, okay? She jumped on that bull like it was nothing. I think she's fun. What y'all think?
I think she's fun. They really trying to make them the anchor, I guess. And they should be. They needed as she said, power couple. We the real power couple. You can't have love and marriage and not have an anchor couple. So, Mel and Martell didn't work out. So they creating another anchor couple. And you can't really.
And they need somebody who's neutral.
Right.
Because they seem like they're neutral with everyone.
Not really, but yeah.
Like, who you think they're not neutral with?
Definitely. I don't think the Fletchers act like they really don't like Martell. For real. Because they take stuff back wrong, and Fletch making fun of him. They just seem like they want to keep up the Mel and Martell drama.
Well, don't you think it may be because he said to Fletch out of nowhere, well, you cheated too. Is he just getting his lick back? Like, because we didn't know that until Martell said, well, you can't talk, you cheated too.
Well, we knew that he cheated because the Fletchers brought that out.
No, Martell brought that out.
Martell brought that out.
Martell brought that out. Then they talked about it.
No, the
Yeah.
Okay, Joy.
episode that Melanie threw that thing at him when he was like, you
Martell said it before then. Joy.
Yeah, because that what you're describing is near the end of the season.
She satisfied me. I don't know. I know that she talked about it in another episode to Melanie. The first time, the very first time that Nell was in an episode with Melanie, she talked about their infidelity to Melanie.
But
he said it way before then.
It
was
know.
way.
They were coming out of marriage counseling. And as they were walking out, Martell says, well, I'm glad we can do whatever we're going to do with the Fletchers because they've been through the same thing or a similar thing. And I remember when they said it, I was thinking that there was a side baby. But I guess he cheated, but there was not a side baby. Because when they were saying the same thing.
I mean, he may have said it like that. But I know that the very first time we met her, she was talking to Mel, trying to give her advice, and she talked from a first person point of situation, like, and then I did this and I did that. She expounded on it a lot more with that recent interview she did with Carlos King. Did y'all watch the interview? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I watched it. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I don't know if he can leave.
He really can. I mean, what's he doing?
Yeah, he did it to Chris. It wasn't thank you. I remember. It wasn't them coming out of counseling. He said it to Chris. Yes, he said, you cheated too. He said, you can't talk about me because you cheated too. This is before anybody knew that they cheated. I can't remember what episode that was, but I was like, he outing everybody. Like, he was like, I'm not doing this on my own. He did the 20 women, then he did the Chris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Martell don't want to go down alone. He's trying to bring everybody with him.
I mean, if my friends was going off on me, ragging me because I didn't get caught doing something that I knew that they was doing too, and y'all want to laugh at me on TV, you coming down with me if I'm going down.
What? Just because you the dummy that got caught and let your baby mama side chick.
You're right.
That's not my fault. I got my bitches under control. Just because you don't mean tell on me. Stop.
No, you're correct when you say that I'm the dummy that got caught. But you, as my friend, ain't finna sit up here and laugh at my situation to my face and brag on me about what I need to be doing when I know you ain't doing right either. That's all.
But they tried to counsel him to do better, Joy, over and over again, to do better, and he don't listen.
Counseling him to do better.
Yes, all of them was trying to be like, even at that reunion, Marceau said, I could tell he was different with her. I talked to him, was like, man, chill out. Like, they tried. He didn't want to get that girl under control. He just didn't. The two men were talking about a totally different topic. That's what I remember too, Pacino. I remember that. We're going to have to go back and find that scene. But anyway, let's keep on going. So, what's next, Joy? I don't got my notes. I need to find them.
The rest of the episode was them all sitting around. Oh, no, it wasn't.
Oh, no, talk about Stormi and the website thing, because she wanted to bring that up, remember?
Yeah, in the middle of one of Tisha's things was, when she was talking to Stormi, I think it was, one of the things Tisha did say was he did Stormi's website or some kind of reference of whoever this person is did do Stormi's website. So when he did Tisha's, he just basically, it looks like he just copied and pasted. So maybe this was his template or somebody, I don't know who this guy is or what they probably are doing. And allegedly he did mails too. What it seems like is happening is maybe he's a web designer and he came up with a design and they're all using the same design. That's what it seems like. It looks like. That's what it seems like.
Right.
when they get to Tisha, he messed up.
But no, Tisha messed up because Mels didn't say Canvas Beauty.
I got you.
No, Tisha. I just feel like Tisha does not take accountability for not proofreading what he sent out.
I
Because
agree.
I'm gonna say this, because when you do graphic design, web design, whatever, you have to okay it before they push play.
Right.
And that she okayed it.
I think she also admits that she left it up to somebody else to review it, and that's where her mistake is that you cannot leave when your name is on stuff. It should be your desk should be the last desk that he goes through, and she didn't do. That's her due diligence that she did not do. But there, it makes a difference. And what makes it so bad, it also brings up Stormi said that she.
Oh, let me pull it up. I got that person's name. Is it okay to show their name? You think? Or do you want me to exit out?
If you could.
Too late now.
Right.
Okay.
So, are we just
I'm
going to
guessing he created a template, and he used it because of his use made a mistake of not removing Stormi's business name and adding Tisha's. Definitely an embarrassing mistake for him and his business, but it was corrected and moved on from. I recall Stormi saying she created her own website as if she did it alone. The math ain't mathing, not math. And I believe Tisha, so why would Stormi act like that behind an apology, knowing darn well the full situation? It's a designer's template. Making the Scots your storyline any which way you can is getting old and tired. Yeah, I will admit, it feels like this show is running its course. There's no urgency at all to watch this show, even when I'm at home.
Yeah.
Like if I just so happen to be doing something and I remember it's 8:00 or 7:00, I will turn it on. And I did this Friday. I didn't go anywhere. So Saturday. So I pushed play and I watched it in real time. But that's a rarity.
The only reason I knew it was on was because somebody, I can't remember if it was you or was it Callie, was in there talking about something. Stormi did something. And I was like, oh, shoot. I forgot it was on. Like, I didn't even remember, but it was on. So I don't have the urgency to watch it either. And I don't know if y'all talked about, because I came a little late, all the stuff that's going on with Kiki and her mom and all of that.
Really
have y'all talked about
the thing today? Yeah, we can do that.
We can do that later. But I will say with one thing, Queen She, because I watched her thing, she said that Carlos doesn't even seem like he's interested in this show anymore because he's focusing on other shows, trying to build his brand. He doesn't even really talk about Huntsville. Huh?
What other shows though?
He's got Black. It's coming out. It's gonna be on WeTV. It's like a housewife show. It's got Malaysia,
Raymond
Gaucher,
or Tamika Foster.
Tamika Foster. He got the DC show, the Detroit show, plus his reality YouTube thing. Like he's more, and his thing with Heavenly. Like it seems like he's more into doing those things and talking about other shows, Bravo shows, than his own show. Like it seemed like he don't care anymore. So I don't know.
It does feel like it's losing its luster when half these shows are only fun when the relationships are authentic. I think we're starting to learn that. I hope we're starting to learn that. When it seems like forced events at times.
He's thinking about the shows a little bit, in that he's taken what Bravo does with the housewife to housewife. He's given them something extra to do to give them more exposure. Did y'all see that episode with what's her name?
Tisha. Yeah.
A hot mess.
It was all over the place, but I mean, it was the first time. But but it was all over the place. But that's still them doing the work. He ain't doing the work. He just set them down, didn't give them no direction. It was all over the place. I was like, po people.
But he probably has production that's supposed to do that.
I hope so.
I would think anyway.
Yeah, but I don't know. But what else? we gonna talk about the other stuff after this. Is that what we're gonna do? Like finish this episode? Or we gonna even talk about it?
No, it's just it ends the episode in the restaurant ends with the guys all hanging out and the girls all hanging out. And Fletcher, it seemed like both of them are kind of messy. Like Fletcher mentioning
I have those captions.
Fletcher mentioning to Martell about Melanie changing her name, Melanie not speaking to Martell at the restaurant.
Yeah.
It continues on when they get to the house. Are they in two separate houses? I think they are.
I don't know. They only showed 3 rooms. Like they only showed the Scott's room and then the Fletcher's rooms, but they didn't show what anybody else was. But I do want to talk about Mel and Martell and the not speaking. Is that getting old? What do y'all think?
Yes. What you think, Callie?
Well, I guess that's their reality. If we think about when this was done, they were like actively in court during all that time. So the fact that she even gave him a peace sign, I mean, she tried, but I don't know that we could expect, a lot more considering what they were going through at the time. It is definitely.
What were they going through at the time?
They were in court, weren't they, about the child custody?
No, that's over.
So
the show was recorded a while ago too.
It would have to, but this is on this was in July. That court stuff was over with like in March or April. No, not March or April. This time it was in the fall of the year prior. We know that it's over because if y'all remember, Melanie at the very, very beginning of the season, it's probably like season 2 or 3 of season 6, if we're still on 28, as it states up here. It was like episode 2 or 3 where Melanie was saying that she wants to appeal the court because of that was all the fall of last year.
Okay,
that was this time last year.
Okay,
we are talking about Martell though. So
from what I got from it
but
was
this is in July.
Okay.
We know
I'm trying to explain to y'all what Mel said, but okay. So Mel said the reason she wasn't speaking, because she said in the episode, I don't know if y'all caught it, was that the fact that he was trying to, because Mel it's Mel's fault. She went to Mel at that name changing ceremony and said that Martell said she cheated on him, that the Rogers name was not important, that the name change was stupid, and so she is upset because he talking about her on that. I think that's what she said. But I remember y'all saying that. Yeah, go watch the episode back. But I remember y'all saying y'all didn't talk to family members still to this day because they did something to y'all. So right?
Oh, absolutely.
So, and I think Joy said it too. So, I mean, I'm tired of it. I'm not gonna lie.
But I don't share kids with my family members.
But you share blood. That don't matter. Okay, I don't know. I'm not like that. I'll speak.
I mean, I get it. I just don't get it. It feels like, for any reason, I just don't want to be around you. And she don't. It's not that she owes.
He didn't. Katrina says, yeah,
he doesn't owe her. She doesn't owe him anything.
Right.
But it feels inauthentic. It feels like I just want to be mad at him because I don't want to talk to him on camera anyway. That's what that's what it feels like. Like I do believe that there is some truth to Martell saying we actually get along. Oh, excuse me.
What does it matter if you want the real or not? I don't know. I think it's getting old, but I do understand. Especially after hearing some of you all when y'all talk about how there's people y'all don't talk to because they've done stuff to you. And it takes a minute. You know, me, I'm still gonna say hi. Now that may be all I say, but I understand, and I feel like we have to give her the time.
These family members that we don't see though, that I don't talk to, I only see them 2-3 times a year. There's no reason for me to have to talk to you. I don't share children every other week. We don't have to exchange schedules on a regular basis and deal with recitals and games, and so we don't have to deal with that. But
I still don't think that means y'all have to talk. I mean, I know there's people who meet at the police. Well, okay. I know there's people who meet at the police station to change custody. I mean, there's different situations for different things. I'm not saying it's right, but I don't think we should rush anybody into doing something they ain't ready to do. That's just what I think.
I hear you.
But yeah, but I mean, different strokes for different folks. I would say hi. I'm getting tired of it. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying, you know.
It also could have been some. I don't, look, Joy be on them dates. I don't. It could have also been some of the stuff with the RP that was going on.
But yeah,
The guys that
yeah.
what was coming out. So there's a lot about the what coleslaw and the videotape, all that video.
The RP, the revenge porn, basically. This is not uncommon in a message. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not.
I mean, 3 years later.
You cannot put a time limit on when somebody wants to heal.
I mean, I get that. It's just that sounds silly to me.
Yeah, I mean, me and you would probably not be that way, but she's I understand where you're coming from, Joe. I'm just saying everybody's different.
Because she bitter.
I don't think she's bitter. You do, but I don't. I don't think she's bitter. I don't think anybody who wants to make sure they're going to speak when they're ready to speak is bitter. It's on your time. Dwayne Wade doesn't talk to his ex. A lot of people don't talk to their exes and they have kids. This is not new, but for some reason people act like it is.
I mean, Dwayne Wade, that was an extreme situation. I hope that Martell and Melody probably have gone through some extremes, but Dwayne's ex-wife was on the corner getting cameras on him just to talk bad about him and stuff. So they had some deep stuff going on. So I don't speak to any of my son's father. What does that say?
I'm not gonna talk about Dwayne Wade, and I ain't gonna talk about him because I ain't gonna get sued.
Is that the one? Right.
Yeah, I ain't getting sued.
Was he the one that has baby by Reese?
Yes. So you know what's going on with him right now, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, so but yeah, so I don't know. I do feel like if you're gonna film together, you need to kind of learn how to be in the same space. So I wish they could just figure that out. But
what a great story that would be.
Yes, but I'm not going to make her do it because if she ain't ready, she ain't ready. That's on her. I can't.
Facts.
Yeah. And then that little video where people were trying to say, because I listened to it. I don't know if you listened to it, Joy, but Martell and Melody, and what I listened to, he was talking to Sugar Mama the entire time. They said not one word to each other. He came and sat by her. Sugar Mama had her phone. He put Sugar Mama in his lap. He was talking to her the whole time. And then after a minute, she was like, Sugar Mama, you ready to go? We about to go pack some orders. She never said a word to him. He never said a word to her. So I don't know why these people are saying that they talked at this tennis event because they didn't talk.
Do y'all know what she's talking about? So you guys may have heard that there was
the way
Melody went live. Melody went live, and we could hear most of the conversations they were having. And they say she didn't know she was live. But then there were two bloggers on YouTube that posted different scenarios, and they had in their title that him and Mel were together, and what was it, Monty?
It was at a tennis match. It was at Mariah. She plays tennis. Yeah.
Something. But the wording they said is, this is Martell on here begging Melody back.
No.
I didn't hear none of that.
None of that happened.
Yeah.
They didn't even speak to each other. So it takes away the talk of they talk when the cameras ain't on. She said not one word to him. He said not one word to her. He even had a phone call with somebody. It sounded like a woman while he was sitting by her. She said not a word. And then Sugar Mama and her left. And that was it. That was it.
This weekend we know these bloggers are going in, and we're bloggers too, but some of that stuff I wouldn't feel comfortable with. They're posting a lot of stuff out there about what's going on in Melody's life with Martell, and it's getting out of control if you ask me.
Somebody said, and I actually agree with that these bloggers are ruining this show.
I said it in our chat. It's horrible.
That may have been you. The strength of the show was its social media presence, but when the social media presence is really becoming the show, it's horrible. It's too much.
And it hasn't always been horrible, I guess, because Carlos did have a separate social media show just talk about everything that's going on online. So
Well, I think
in a
that
sense, it's bad for us, but it seems in some ways to be positive. But now it seems like it's gotten to the point where no matter truth or fake, I want to be the first one to put out this story.
right,
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's dangerous, and I don't like that
and
at
if
all.
And I feel
you
like that may
all,
be why we're not just as popular as some of these people is because we don't do that. Like we
Yeah,
come on here, we have fun, we kind of report what we see and some of the rumors we hear, but we even say we don't even think this is true. You know what I mean? But these
yeah.
people who are out here trying to be first, trying to make it seem like it's fact, being so invested that they're crying and worried about they're
Recording
ruining this
phone
show. They're
calls
ruining this
without
show.
letting, yeah, they're
and
recording
if
phone calls without letting the other person know. I mean,
yeah,
it's just so
That's
far out of
crazy.
control.
and for those that's kind of confused, because I was, if you all are in these groups, this is what they're claiming happened. And please jump in, Montanique and Callie,
Yeah,
um,
okay.
to kind of explain what's happening because this is what we're talking about. This is why I say it just goes too far. There's some
Mm-hmm.
guy, I'm gonna call him Tim.
Love it.
We're gonna use this word. I know what his name is, but
Right.
we use the name Tim. There is this guy out there, and this guy has been intermingled in this cast. He does something with them. I don't know if is he a closed person or
Well,
something.
they say he was dating a cameraman. That's
Okay.
all I'm gonna say.
So,
Allegedly. Let me put
okay.
that thing up. Go ahead though. Keep going.
So, and this guy, this is what we know. This
Mm-hmm.
guy did interviews with Kiki. You can find him. We got him
Mm-hmm.
on Chatter Up. He was doing
Mm-hmm.
interviews with Kiki, and he has been the go-between these Marceau rumors and Tisha move rumors as well. According to him, he was there the day that these two women, because one of the things that I'm kind of learning, Marceau himself was never really accused of cheating. Marceau was accused of being there while two girls got at each other.
So he
And,
was watching.
and he was watching.
Yeah.
He was
I
not a
don't know,
participant.
y'all.
I'm just telling you what that once you get down to the nitty gritty and listen
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to his interviews, this is what they're saying. It wasn't, I thought it was that he had a threesome with somebody. That wasn't the rumor. The rumor was originally
Well, actually, that was the rumor.
that's the rumor that we heard. But according
Mm-hmm.
to him, that really wasn't what happened. According to
Mm.
Tim, who claims to be there that day, there's some room inside of Black
Black.
called the
Mm-hmm.
Boom
He said no
Boom
car or
Room,
something.
and two girls were going at each other sexually, and he watched.
Mm.
So this
Okay,
same,
so that just sounds so unbelievable, don't it, Marcia? Don't it, Angela?
I've been telling y'all that. Now this
Well, we
Mm-hmm.
don't.
didn't believe none of it. We didn't think
Yeah,
that
I didn't
nobody
believe
wanted
none of
Marceau.
it.
Remember, we said he
Yeah,
ain't even the one.
I
Other
thought
two.
all of it was
Right.
ridiculous.
Y'all so
I'm
wrong.
just telling you, this is what he said in the interview with Kiki. You ain't got to take my word for
I
it.
know we
Go
got it. We
yeah,
was there. We watched
share it up on TikTok. That's what
it.
he said.
Right. So now
So
there's some new stuff he's saying though. Talk
now
about that, Joy.
he's saying the new stuff is he's saying that how does it start?
He's saying, well, it's two different stories.
Okay,
One story I heard is that Kiki's mom called him.
okay,
Then another story but Kiki's mom is saying he called her.
right.
I don't know. But go about the Houston trip.
Okay, so apparently some of this will play out on the show. So I really hope that we're not being spoiling. If you don't want to hear spoilers, you might not want to listen. We don't know if this is how it's going to go out. We're just
Mm-hmm.
going by what they're saying. Okay, so apparently there was a scene, and we don't know if we're going to see it, where all of them were told that Kiki
True.
was in town for Houston because Nell and them invited everybody. Well, they had voted, the house had voted whether or not Kiki should be able to stay in the house with
Right.
everybody. And it
Exactly.
appears that Marceau, the Scots, all of the Scots, that's Maurice and Tisha
Maurice, Kimmy, Marceau, and Tish
Scott,
voted no.
all of them voted no, and everybody else voted yes. And because of that, and her own family didn't want her in, then they felt like Melody should have fought
They
harder
won't.
to have Kiki in the house. Long story short, Kiki was not allowed in the house.
Right.
And they put her in a hotel somewhere. Whether or not it was a
Which is
quality
so
hotel,
foul.
I've heard all kinds of things.
They talking about the hotel, Joy. I didn't
yeah.
heard that, child.
And I was like,
-1
what they
star.
put her in, a Hotel 6 or something?
Where she go to? The Ramada Inn? I ain't got nothing against y'all Ramada Inns. Go ahead, though.
But apparently she wasn't allowed to be in the house. And I don't know how her mother got involved, but her mother, whatever it is, they said her mother is the one that is not telling the truth. There are videos out there.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother.
He recorded her mother. Tim,
Yeah.
I don't know who's talking to Tim, but when people record y'all need to be careful. And you know he records people. Tim recorded her mother, so allegedly recorded her mother saying these things.
Child.
And Tim is not his real name. We're just
right.
Tim.
So if there's a blogger named Tim, we're not talking about him.
Yeah, if there is, if it does happen to be you and you a blogger, it's by pure
we just
coincidence.
So let me ask a question, because I know we could probably drag this on, but in short, so Tim allegedly received some information from somebody that had information on the show.
Mm-hmm.
He took that information to another popular blogger, and that blogger communicated that on one of her lives.
Correct.
Yeah.
Kiki went online and called her out. You don't know. I didn't say that. You can't tell me what to say, blah, 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 blah. And the blogger then said, well, I said what I said. And, she didn't really take anything back. What do you guys think about that? I mean, what she did say, though, is that she wished she had checked other sources. She just believed him for whatever her reasons were. But,
she said that she knew Tim was a liar. So she's kicking herself for even. Yeah. It's just the fact that they want to be first. It's just the fact that these bloggers want to be first. They don't care if it's right or wrong. Because and allegedly this is why Dawn. Shoot, let me stop, because then y'all gonna know who I'm talking about. But I'm not gonna go there. Go ahead.
But why has it gotten so deep that
I don't know.
Melanie then do this live and says that he has been stalking her, and she done told where the man worked, telling the minions to.
Well, Melody did say, though, she said the only reason why she came out and said anything at all is because the person had started coming for Dawn. And she said, Dawn, don't start any trouble. She squeezed everybody, et cetera.
That's her manager.
That's Melody's manager.
I was about to go into it, but yeah.
Oh, yeah,
you're right, Callie.
Go ahead.
No. I stopped myself, but I'm happy you're doing it. Go ahead.
Melody was, she's been quiet for months about this. We had heard Tim on these calls saying that they were friends. He was not against her. He wasn't trying to stop anything. And all the while that was going back and forth, Melody did not tell where he worked. She didn't.
I don't know. I didn't hear her tell where he worked. But
as they were going back and forth, Melody stayed out of it. She didn't, dig in there to go at it.
Don't put that other comment up, Callie. Please don't. Go ahead.
So if
yes, Angela.
If Tim is a flat out liar, and that's what he is, and he's all of these ugly things, how is it that he was allowed to then infiltrate this cast in such a way to drive those rumors even between about Marceau and these women?
You want me to answer that?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
This is my opinion, but when you say, how was he able to just feel comfortable enough to go out and try and get that? So as I understand it, Melody was on a live, and this person, people can request to come on live with you. He made the request, she let him in, and they had whatever they were talking about. It was a good conversation, and she liked the way he talked and the questions that he was asking. So she then said, hey, you should start your own YouTube channel. So he did just that. And then he kept coming to her with questions and trying to get to know different people, whatever. But his YouTube page kind of blew up because Melody threw it out there. Go for it. I think you got a nice point. You asked good questions, and it went from there. So if Tim could have easily started calling people saying, "Yeah, Melody, that's my girl. Hook me up. Can I come get the red carpet treatment?" I mean, to me, that's what made him feel so comfortable. Because if you say Melody Holt and you can show a text or a message where we was going back and forth, people are going to believe you.
Yeah.
Another thing she said was he tried to get with her makeup artist and ask questions. He was trying to mess with the cameraman. I feel like Kiki was the weak link, and I think she talked to him more than anybody. And her mom probably talked to him a little bit more too. And they thought that he was their friend. And her mom went to him. I have no idea why. When Kiki was feeling alone in Huntsville, in Houston, and shared some stuff she shouldn't have. And I don't know if that's going to cost Kiki her job or not. Because I don't think she should even tell her mom.
Do you know?
But should she have even told her mom, like, what's happening? What do y'all think?
I don't think so, but I don't know. I just, and I like Kiki. I know she's going through a lot. I would hate to see her not on the show, but the way that this gossip is going, and now there's a recording of your mom. We definitely need to have some additional conversations, because this, to me, it's getting out of control. They're comfortable wanting to be the first one to get the story out, no matter how fake it is.
And the fact that this person feels like they can record people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, I'm not saying anything bad about this person, but I think that needs to stop. Person, you've got that needs to stop.
That's why I keep saying, it's the show. I will admit, when it first started, it was a little fun because we would watch stuff that happened live in real time. Then months later, we kind of play out in shows. It was kind of fun. Now it's so toxic. Like, I'm not feeling it like at all.
Like, and I think this, you remember when Monique got real cozy with those bloggers? Yeah, I feel like when the cast members so cozy with these bloggers, things happen. Now, I understand you want to do interviews with them. We would love for y'all to come on our show and do some with us, but you shouldn't be so cozy and comfortable with us that you're telling us things that could hurt your other castmates. You know what I mean? Because it's like, this is what's happening. That needs to stop. Monique, she did that to Candace. That shouldn't have happened. What's happening right now should not be happening. And it's just to make themselves look better. So, I don't know.
It's a way to control a narrative that you know is coming. Because these bloggers, when they be filming and talking and trying to irk something, they already know what happened because they were there. They're trying to manipulate the situation to us. And we know that they were successful, because to this day, I argue with people about Potomac and whether or not Giselle talked about them babies. And I said, Monique was so successful with her lives and the blogs that people really do remember things differently. Like,
she did
flat out. They remember things differently. She literally created a narrative. And while I can't stand Candace, one thing Candace wasn't true. She would say, but it's a lie. Like, you had people for a whole year believing I picked up a piece of glass and threw a wine glass across your face.
Yeah, it depends on the state.
And she said on it, it's not cool.
It's not cool. I just think this whole thing is really sad. I think it was a way to try to make, because the rumor was that Melody voted for her not to even be in the house.
Right. And
that's
so
what
that
came
rumor
out.
Was spread.
And that was a lie.
So, but here's what I thought was interesting, that the popular lady blogger said that Tim called her and he was crying. He was not crying, but he was very upset. So she was like, let me pick up what's going on. And then, he had to say, look, the person I don't know if it was kicked out the house or not, but he had to say opposite of what he was told, or what he had initially told her. He thought he was giving her some tea. She shared the tea, probably because of who he knows. And then he called back and says, hey, now I'm told this. And he was really upset about it, because he was obviously the first one to put that out. And I guess that's powerful in some way. I don't get it. So
I don't know.
yeah.
Another thing this blogger Tim did was he called Don, who's Mel's manager, and was like,
Hmm.
please tell me this isn't, see, he's too invested because you crying about this and mad about it. Please tell me this ain't
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That Mel did this to Kiki, and Don's like, let it play out. Like, I don't know, because Mel didn't tell me. I have no idea. But don't put this out here until it airs. He did it anyway, and that ruined the relationship that he almost had with her. Because they're doing a show about content creators. I think he was supposed to
Hmm.
be a part of it. That ruined so he's ruining his own relationships with people, trying to be first.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
yeah, yeah. It's
I think the producers do, Danita. I think they tell them, not until it airs. Do they not tell them that now?
I think they do
told them
tell them
that. I
that.
think they do. I
I
think
think they
now,
do.
now it seems like to me Carlos King does not do that. Because he couldn't have done that because Melanie and Martell did so much online. When they was going through, I can't imagine he actually said those words to them. Like, because at that time it was positive. You know, he created
No.
a buzz around this show. Like, this was probably one of the few shows, and it's probably was its appeal at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
where you had direct interaction with the people you were watching on TV,
Yeah.
not just in a tweet. Like, you could inbox them and they inbox you back. You could
Yeah.
send them something, they'll ask you where you got it from. They'll be in the groups and it's not a big deal. You know,
Hmm.
all of these other people pretend like they don't read the comments and they're not, but they're unapologetically inside of these groups. Every
Yeah.
last one of
Yeah.
them have
They
responded
are.
at some point.
That's true.
From Kiki to Mel, Martell doesn't do it a lot, but he did used to.
Yeah. So I
Marcel
will
does it a
say
lot.
he's funny. I will say a few months back, maybe at the beginning of the summer, I don't know. So Kiki had a live, and on the live was Tim, and it was also Kiki's mom, and they were talking. She
Okay.
had like two that day, but on one of those
Hmm.
lives, somebody called her out and said, "Well, did you say this to this person?" And she said, "Let me tell y'all what I did." And she says, "I told two different bloggers two different pieces of information so that I could tell
Yes.
which one I could trust."
Mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
she
I
didn't
remember
give
that.
no names. But so
Mm-hmm.
when I saw all this stuff going on with Tim, I thought, I wonder if that's the one she told the lie to, because he told that lie. And now, you see where it's blown up. So she knows if she can trust him or not. But what could come back and bite her in the butt, possibly, is her mother.
It's her mom. That is true though, because on Bravo, Rena used to release everything. Monique used to
Yeah.
release everything on Potomac.
Yeah.
But Candace did release that thing about Chris on Twitter.
What?
What thing?
Oh, you're right. Chris did first, and then she followed. Yeah, that ain't what you want. Like, we did know in real time when the season first began last season on Potomac,
Not Betty, Angela.
Giselle had accused him of trying to holler. That's how it
Yeah.
was presented.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was presented. You're
Yeah.
correct about it. And
Donita's
Candy
right.
Well,
did. Mm-hmm.
I feel
But
a little bit bad for Tim because, if you're getting support from
Mm-mm.
a famous person and you think you can build off of that and you say the wrong thing and you see that you can't. So from that aspect, because his channel blew up so quickly, it would be really good if he could be successful at it. I think he might just maybe change the way he goes about it.
mm-hmm.
I don't know, because I wish there was something Carlos could do to stop that outside chatter, but like Montique was saying yesterday, was talking about it, how he can't really make people not talk. But the show itself, the people that has the information should not talk about what they know to outside sources, just to let them be the first person to put out the
I,
story.
another thing I'm gonna say is I feel like Tim could probably be very successful if he wasn't so emotionally invested. You cannot be crying and upset because somebody on reality TV did something to where you feel like it's affecting you. Because it didn't happen to you, Tim. So you've got to
Okay.
reality TV ain't for everybody. And if you
Yeah.
Yeah.
cannot separate yourself from these people on this TV,
Mm-hmm.
you may need to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
That's my 2 cents.
They
Take a
do
break.
seem, he did seem very emotionally invested.
Yeah, too
Like,
much.
go back and look at those before this incident happened. Go back and look at those videos about Marceau and Tisha's marriage, where he said,
Mm-hmm.
What?
like,
I see. I don't.
he was
He
the
did stuff
bad.
about them too, Joy. I've
Yes,
never
Mm-hmm.
watched him. Okay.
he's
But
on
he
our
is
chatter
emotionally
update.
invested. If you
He's
think about it, I mean, these people are getting paid off their YouTube channels.
yeah,
Yeah.
And so, he's getting support in his mind from one of the most popular people on OWN.
mm,
So he is invested, especially if he's making a decent amount of money.
yeah,
And we've heard, the money you can make on YouTube if you got the right amount of followers.
But
yeah,
he wasn't
Hmm.
invited to the barn, remember? Because
yeah.
when Stormy was
Because
on
they didn't
there,
want him to know that much,
they
right?
didn't want him there. He's messed up.
Yeah.
He lost thousands.
He wasn't invited to
Angela,
the
did you
party
look
at the
at the
pasture.
numbers?
See, I don't know if they went down.
Oh, he
What's
lost
that?
thousands of followers. Well, I imagine that he
Wow.
didn't, because when he appeared to go against Melody, you should have known it was going to be toward the
Yeah.
end, because she say a word and they all go and unfollow him in a matter of days, and
Yeah.
whatever his career was in journalism is short.
Not in
So,
journalism.
right. So Pacino is saying no sympathy here for Tim. Yeah, I don't have sympathy for Tim either, but I can only imagine, because you can have that YouTube business. He could, you know, he could have done something good. So I feel bad in his mind, because he thought he was doing the right thing. He knew he was wrong, but he thought he was doing what he needed to do, maybe to up his game even more than it had already been upped. So no, I'm with you. No sympathy overall either. Just in his mind, he thought he was getting that business together. Mm.
I agree. Parasol. Yeah, that's what he has. A parasocial relationship. Yes, that's it. That's really it. Because I feel like he feels like he's on the show. I really feel like he thinks he is a cast member. We
Yeah.
just ain't seeing him. And I'm serious, and he is crying over these people. Like, why you gonna be crying because Kiki can stay in the house? Like,
Wait a
that's
minute.
if she
Carlos
wasn't kicked off
King
the
be
show,
crying.
she just
Carlos
couldn't stay in the house. Why you gonna be crying?
yeah, Carlos King be crying over them,
But
and I'm not. Yeah,
but
he
at
be
least he a
crying
producer,
over,
Joy.
but it makes it worse. Look, I've cried over. Of course, you watch TV. There are sad moments in even reality.
Right.
Right. Melody didn't tell
If you
anybody to do
shed a
that.
tear, I get that, but I would not be so emotionally invested to be talking about y'all can work this out. I feel like you love me, and y'all can really work this out if you just admit that. No, it ain't that serious. It just isn't.
But
Well,
people need, yeah, that's true too. And some of the groups I have to walk away. Like, even in your neighborhood groups, if you have neighborhood Facebook groups, some of the stuff people say on them neighborhood Facebook groups, you be like, listen, people, y'all need to walk away, because it's just too much. Social media has people acting ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
got to stop. And then on the shows, the people could just be sitting there having a conversation, and somebody gonna find something wrong with it. They could be talking about rainbows and clouds. It's like we want to go to the negative all the time. I don't understand.
he
Yeah.
has 16,000 subscribers right now.
Oh, that's good though.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So the
it.
more he gets, you know, the more he
So
can
I
up
guess that's why I
his YouTube
said
business.
we're never gonna be there, because we won't do what they're doing. I don't want to do that though.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
I don't like the idea of breaking false information. You got to go back,
Mm-mm.
and and it's not that everything we've said on here has been true, but we say things like, I'm just telling you what I'm reading. I don't know if
Mm.
it has truth behind it, and then I'll explain to you what I'm hearing. I'm not going to come and pretend like, well, this is what's happening. I'm just, because even this story here, we're only telling you what we've actually heard the individuals say.
Right.
We're
Right.
not breaking any news, because this has been going on at least a week, and they have been death on it, because it blew up in such a way you don't know who is still cool with who. Because I
Mm-mm.
don't even know right now if Melanie is cool with Kiki. We
I
don't
wouldn't
really.
know. I don't know why not. But another thing I want to say is people were mad because she couldn't stand the dang on house.
Mhm.
But they were mad at Melody not taking up for her. They weren't mad that Stormy was not the March. It was just Melody. I don't understand why it was
Well,
just on her.
I think it's because somebody said it. It was initially rumored that she took the way that I heard it. It was kind of blasé, like, oh, if your own family don't want you here, I ain't finna fight for it.
But I think everybody took that storm. All of them. You can't
Yeah,
because if your home family don't want you, I can't fight your family.
yeah,
Like that, I don't have the weight to go against your flesh and blood. I'm not
yeah.
putting you off the show. I'm just saying go to the hotel down the street. Like,
Do you
why
think?
is that?
What did they say that Martell? How did
It was
Martell?
Martell, Melody, Courtney, and Stormy said yes. I'm thinking the Scott said no, which would to me is even.
Oh,
So the
right.
Fletchers
What did the
would
flesh?
be the tiebreaker. Would that not be for you, in your
Yeah,
opinion?
yeah, yeah.
And I'm thinking they may have sided with the family. We don't know, but
Okay,
that's 4 against 4.
right. You're
I
right.
mean, so
I,
I don't know.
All right, what else? Where we at? Are we through with the
I think
actual?
that's it.
I
Okay.
think that's it, other than the preview for next week, which
What
it
was
looks
next week?
um
Oh,
oh
did we talk about
oh wait a minute.
Marceau? No,
I was
you
just
missed
gonna
something.
say
Go
that.
to it, girl. Go to it.
Yeah, I was just
Marceau on the bed.
yeah. David, my husband, we was watching this.
Child.
He told us so
Woo.
said he said, you act like if I had a vasectomy, I would question that too. I said, you would question me though? I
No.
was like, because I'm listening. I'm like, you would question me. He said, I don't know if I would say it out loud, but it definitely would cross my mind.
Mm.
And he said, I said, okay. He said, if you, I mean, it's a little different for a woman because we all know somebody that had their tubes tied and ended up pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't, I don't really know. From a man's perspective, maybe.
But the fact of the matter is, she has fought everybody that her husband will never cheat on her. My marriage is sacred.
Not
And
really.
the first sign this Negro gets to doubt her, he does.
That,
That right there is a slap in the face. You better not never take up for him, okay? Ever, Tisha. Because he gonna sit there and be like, no, we need a blood test because I'm leaving you. How you
what
gonna leave
did
me
he say?
when I already left you?
Yes, that was the quote. I was just thinking,
No.
what was the quote that he said? It was
That's what
something.
he said. She said,
Yeah,
because if you do the blood test, I'm leaving. He said, how you gonna leave me when I already left you?
Yeah.
that's
You trying to Marceau. It's his exact words.
yes, he
He
did.
playing with her on TV. No, ma'am.
Yeah, he did say that. I was like, he done lost his mind. I can't
She
even.
I need to say her husband said the same thing.
Yeah, he said right.
He
He said
said, do you
I ain't trying to say that I would say it out loud, but it sure would cross my mind. He said that.
this is what I'm thinking. He was like, ain't none of my side, and I don't really think he had no side pieces, but I gotta be shady. Ain't none of my side pieces done got pregnant. How you pregnant, mom? How you pregnant? That's his vasectomy, so nobody got pregnant.
Okay.
Oh, that was funny.
I just
Yeah.
think he shouldn't do it on TV. I know we want the real, even if he felt that way. I think he
Didn't
went
one
too far.
state just adopt
Huh?
this past election? Didn't one state, I can't remember what state it was, that adopt blood tests taken at
Oh,
birth?
I don't know.
I thought I saw a TikTok where a guy said some law. I don't know if it was something that should be passed or what. I'm a proponent for um blood tests being
I'm
taken.
not against it. I think
Yeah,
it's okay as long as I don't
I
go
am
on my doctor bill. And if you
yeah,
trying to, if it gonna cost extra, no.
right. If my insurance covers it, I
If
don't care
my
what
insurance don't cover it,
you right. You gonna test that baby blood anyway.
test that baby right now, because I
Test
need to know who my
test
baby
it.
daddy is.
I mean, I always tell people my first baby, I had no say about her birth certificate. I didn't even name my daughter. Like,
What?
yeah, my baby, when she was rolled in, it had the words Jamila on there. I said, who is Jamila? And she said, my husband had filled out the entire
Wow.
thing. And I was like, because we were supposed to name her Nija. I knew I was having
What?
a girl. He said she was so pretty. I had and
Oh, so sweet.
Jamila means pretty.
Yeah,
So he was like, I had to name her Jamila. I was like, I like that name better than Nija
I do
anyways.
too. I like Jamila.
But my second baby, he should have. I wish he had done that because I spelled my poor baby's middle name wrong. It still ain't spelled right.
If you don't go fix that baby name.
It still ain't spelled right because I had to call him on the phone because we had made a deal that if we had boys, I get to name them. If we had girls, he gets to name them. And I've only had 2 girls, so I never named any of my children. Like
Oh my
I
God.
had no say.
Well, it's funny because Callie and my daughter, our daughters have the same name, spelled the same way, which is really crazy. But yeah,
But I don't have a problem with that. It would not bother me one bit. I think the issue is always when there's ambiguity in who the father is. That's just wrong, and I don't. If you have the real statistics that 40% of the fathers that go to court aren't the fathers.
no,
Yeah,
that is not true.
yeah, they said that's the number. 40%.
Oh my God.
In these it's whatever this law is, it's a campaign and it's on some kind of algorithm I must liked because I keep getting these videos about this.
I don't think the woman should be mad. I wouldn't be mad. You should know who your baby daddy is, right?
I agree. Especially if you're not married. I don't care if you are married.
Right, even if you're married, yeah.
Married. So there's no room of I don't know if that's my baby.
No doubt.
If it don't work out, you owe child support. It ain't no issue.
Right.
I have a problem with that.
That's crazy. All right, we done?
Yeah, I think that's it.
So
no, I was just gonna say for next week.
Okay, go ahead.
Thing that I am interested in. That's when we see about Martell in his ring. I'm looking forward to that crazy scene. So apparently Martell is wearing his wedding ring. And they're talking, and Melanie telling the girls in the hot tub that Martell never made her
have an orgasm. We're gonna say it the right. She didn't say that, but yeah.
And the last thing is Martell, he must have wanted him to be seen. Martell walking in with some girl. Maurice walked by. He's like, "Hey, Reese." As he walked.
But what's so crazy is not Sheree or Ariana. Like, what in the heck?
He's single.
I understand, but if you want, I don't know. I guess so. I don't know. I just think it's a bad look. But I mean, he's single. You're right.
He's single.
But you just gonna bring some random in the house with us on the trip?
Some little bird in Texas.
Just some random.
I mean, I don't know. It's a random. I mean,
he could be one of his. It could be one of his women. You never know. You sure? Yeah. That's true. Well, are we gonna do tomorrow? When do we do Potomac? Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Potomac and Married to Medicine, and then we'll talk about all the quad drama tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
For Married to Medicine, it's a lot of drama with quad. So
it kind of explains. We'll get into it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it kind of explains the tour she was on before the season. I remember, and we'll explain a little bit of it tomorrow, but basically Quad admits that she won't be in after episode 7, which is not this but next week. She's only in 2 more episodes. And I wondered why at the beginning of the season Quad was doing these interviews almost like a woe is me. She had never done it before. Quad doesn't interview that much. But when she did, she's always like, I'm this, I'm that. And, I got this. She was very meek and mild and kind of toned down in a way doing these interviews. It was humbling. And I remember thinking, oh, maybe I like her. Maybe she's grown up a little bit. Because she's very performative. She performs a lot. It irritates me.
Yeah, she had some things to say, honey, in her tweets. She even talked about how they thought Phaedra was going to bring the ratings, and she didn't. I'm going to show them tomorrow. I will show them.
Did she say that?
Oh, I'll show you. Yeah, she did in a tweet.
Oh wow. I mean, she
Yeah,
did.
she said she think the rating's gonna go
Phaedra
down when
is
she ain't.
shady though. I'm still ticklish when Phaedra said, we have a doctor and a dentist
Vagina expert
and
and a tennis.
a tennis expert. Dude, every time I think about that, I'm tickled. And they got people in blogs, got pictures of Toya in her tennis wear. Girl, I be
Yeah, I'll
cracking
leave to
up.
you, take it to you alone. But yeah, so we'll be back tomorrow about 5-ish, 5:30-ish to do those two. And then we need to schedule our year-end review, which I'm off the entire week. After the 22nd, I'll go back to the 3rd. So
We have to
y'all just,
figure out what week are they not going to be on, because we
oh, I
know
don't know.
Christmas they probably not. Well, Christmas falls on a Monday, so Christmas
Yeah,
Eve they
we can
probably.
do it that week. I'm off that whole week.
Yeah, I'm off that 2 weeks. The week
Me
of.
too. Me too. I'm about 2 weeks. So we'll figure that out.
Mhm.
All right, y'all. Thanks for being here. I'm not on, I got my bonnet on, so that's why I ain't get on camera, because I ain't feel like taking it off. Because I would get on a peace out, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Girl, peace it out for us.
Oh, peace out, peace out,
All
peace,
right.
peace
Thank
out.
y'all.
All right, peace out, y'all.